Hey guys, Neomis here. Now for today's video, it's time to talk about Arsenal's second preseason game against Rangers. Arsenal 2, Rangers 2. In what I have to say was a bit of a hot and cold performance. Lots of things to kind of take from the game, but I know first of all everybody wants to talk about Nuno Tavares. So Nuno Tavares, he finally gets his kind of debut in this preseason. Can't wait to actually see him in the season because he scored a really good goal in the first half of the game. There from the left, winning the ball, kind of driving forward from the Rangers defender, and from the time that he gets the ball, dribbles in, and just curls it past the goalkeeper. And I thought it was a really nice goal. Didn't think that he was going to have much of an attacking threat in the game, but it looks to me like he's able to give much of what the likes of Tierney is able to give from Arsenal. And when you look at the price tag that we managed to pick up Nuno Tavares for, I could honestly say that I'm pretty happy with what I have seen from Nuno Tavares. And I have to say that it now means that left back spot for me is done. It's sealed up. I think what he's able to give, I really am impressed, and I'm really happy with the signing that Arsenal have made from there. Some of the other notes that I thought wanted to kind of bring up, because even before we scored the goal by Nuno Tavares, Arsenal had already conceded a goal, and I thought a goal that we conceded from a corner, and I think the two people that were at fault for that were El Nene and Mari, just not marking properly, not tracking the run that was scored by Leon Balogun, another Balogun in the side on top of following Balogun, who started the game today. It just was bad defensively. For me, I felt that Mari probably should have been able to. Mari's in front of the defender and probably should have been the one to dealt with it. But El Nene, on the initial, as the corner was being taken, El Nene was the guy, and El Nene probably should have followed up in as well to make sure that nothing to make sure that Leon Balogun doesn't get ahead on that. But again, it's another conceded goal from Arsenal in this preseason, and another set piece goal. And this doesn't look good, especially with the whole Ben White signing. And we know that Ben White is pretty weak when it comes to dealing with set pieces for Brighton. And it just shows that this defence grossly misses Gabriel in that defence. So he's the one, him and Holden really dealing with those kind of headed balls. And it just looks like Mari, for me, Mari's not the one. I don't know if it's because he's just been on holiday and he just is just trying to get up to match fitness, but so far for me he doesn't look great, and I gotta say I've been pretty disappointed with him in the first couple of preseason games. But anything could change. We got loads of time for that, but for me, I have to say that I would need to see a drastic improvement for Mari in order for me to really kind of change my mind around him. But right now I just don't think that he's good enough. Some of the other points of talking was Aubameyang. So Aubameyang started today along with following Balogun up front. On Sky Sports, they had it as though Balogun was up front, but Aubameyang was out wide. And I can honestly tell you this, that for me, I'm tired of seeing Aubameyang out wide. I know Arteta and Emery and Wenger believe that he can play out wide, but it just doesn't work. He doesn't have the technical skill to be able to play out in that inside forward position enough to beat a man, to be able to get a shot off, because we always know what he's going to do. He's going to cut in on his favoured right foot to be able to get a shot off that way. It's too easy to mark against him, and it just wasn't Aubameyang's day, as it hasn't been in the last game as well. And Aubameyang had two gilt-edged chances just completely missed. He had a tap-in, to be honest, where he should have scored it and just didn't do anything with it. And it was really disappointing from Aubameyang. You know, you kind of expected more, and he got a good hour in, and you could tell that Arteta wants to play him. And I just hope Arteta decides to kind of do what is right and do what's best for the team instead of trying to manage people's egos, because it's quite clear Aubameyang just is not the one. Lacazette should be our main striker. He gives us more and he allows us to do more in terms of the other players around him. For me, I know in order to get out of bad form, you got to play, but shouldn't be starting for me. When we get to Arsenal versus Chelsea, which I'm planning on buying a ticket at the Emirates, I'm expecting to damn near see a close enough kind of finished Arsenal starting 11 whereby the players should be ready to start the season, because what I saw today wasn't quite good enough for me, to be really honest. So I hope things improve, but it's looking more the same, and it's really up to Arteta to kind of get things right, because there were a lot more other positives in the game from some of the players that were out on the fringes. One of them I wanted to talk about was Eddie Nketiah. In the second half when he came on, he had a couple of chances, and the chance that he had was blocked by the defender. Really looked bright. Was kind of drifting out on wide, similar to how Arteta's trying to use Aubameyang, someone who can play out wide and then kind of come in every now and again. But Nketiah's work rate for me, just really solid again. And I thought it was just going to be another game whereby he fluffs his chances and just doesn't score a goal, because the last video I did yesterday or a couple of days ago, and I talked about Nketiah saying that at the very least he had to get that on target, that was poor. This time he scores a goal and gets Arsenal to get a 2-2 draw, by just his sheer determination, chasing balls down. And I like the fact that he took the shot, because normally he would have tried to pass it on to someone else and just decided to take control in the game, take the shot for himself and get the goal, which I thought was a very nice goal, beating McGregor from the near post. Maitland-Niles, he came on in the second half, had a good solid game as well. Overall, Joe Willock, I thought had a solid game. I know he wasn't on for that long, but also as well had a good game. Reece Nelson as well having a good game. On top of that, I can't fault him for what he did in the game, really driving forward, coming on for Pepe in the second half, running the channels really well. His work rate, the energy that he was given. Crossing and passing needs to be a little bit of work, but was right there kind of creating chances and causing that Rangers defence problems, which is exactly what you want from your wide player. But again, similar to Nketiah, I need him to go and usurp himself onto games. Be more confident, take more shots, because he had opportunities to be able to do so and he just didn't, and chose to pass the ball to somebody else instead. And I think it's more of that being assertive in those positions is what me as an Arsenal fan I'd like to see from the rest of the team. Other notable mentions is Karl Hein with the potential third Rangers goal. So Rangers hit us on the counter-attack, and I thought, like the last game, Karl Hein had a good second half game, comes on this half as well, performed really well. I expect Karl Hein to start in the next game, which I think will probably be in the US, and I'll try to see if I could watch that some way, somehow. And hopefully Karl Hein could put in a good performance, but had a brilliant save, whereby it should have been a third goal from Rangers and kind of giving them the win. But overall, I thought the game was okay. You could quite see who are our better players, the ones who still need work, the ones for me who are shaky, like the likes of Pablo Mari. For me, he looks shaky. Bellerin looks still a bit shaky. Aubameyang looks grossly shaky. But what we need to do is just start scoring, getting the ball in the back of the net. Because like I've said it time and time again, at the end of last season, I did my review on 101 Arsenal, and I said that we do not score enough goals. It just isn't enough, and we have to score more goals. If we score more goals, we'll do just fine. So let's get the goals down, and I'm sure that by the start of the season, we will put in a good performance of the season. But on to the next game. First, before I do that, I'll be interested to hear what you guys' thoughts on the game. What do you think about everybody? Aubameyang, Nuno Tavares, Nketiah. Yes, Nketiah. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say around that. So do leave your comments below in the description. Underneath the description, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on my next video, which probably will either be tomorrow or Monday.